Aram on Everything podcast. Guess what? We've got a good show for you today. I think I always say that. This time I really mean it. I will be joined by Leslie Micek. If you don't know her from Twitter, you soon will. She and I will talk about a lot of things going down in the world of sports and an interesting aspect of the sports subculture known as fan couples, sports couples, if you will. I'll explain more later. Stand by. Aram on Everything podcast is on. It is Monday, October 21st. This is the podcast that cuts through all the bullshit. No fanboys, no fangirls allowed. We are the number one podcast in Orange County and Tennessee. Don't ask me why, folks. Don't argue with the analytics. Anyway, like I said, top of the show here, Leslie Micek will be joining me, and we'll be talking about a lot of things going down in the world of sports. Among those, a interesting, like I said, subculture of the world of sports, one that's kind of grossing me out. Sports couples. Ugh. Fan couples. You see them all over social media. I just can't, I don't know. She's going to help me figure this out. Maybe she'll be disgusted as well. I don't know. Also, we'll be unveiling the going to games is an outdated concept. Now, I know a lot of you have seen me tweet about it. It's now going to be a segment on the Aram on Everything podcast that I think you'll enjoy. We will do that later. But for now, without further ado, let us bring in Leslie Micek. Leslie, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, you like that intro?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, good.
Short
I'm glad you liked
sweet.
it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to go wild on Leslie's bio here, but I can tell you, you can follow her, and you should, on Twitter, at Les Micek, and that is at LESMICEK. She's very funny, very witty, very snarky. I don't know, Leslie. I think it's all good stuff, so thank you for joining me.
Yeah, happy to be here. You're talking me up so much. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the only way I could actually get you to talk to me, I think.
That's true.
Jeez.
That is true. There were a lot of messages that I hadn't responded to before this, and I don't really apologize about that, but...
All right. Well, thank you. Nothing wrong with taking a shot at the host. You know, I actually have an interesting story about this and how I came to find or know Leslie's Twitter account. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember this. People will like this. So, it's a few years ago now. You may not want to admit this, but you followed me on Twitter. I remember this. You followed me on Twitter. I think I had responded to something. Somehow, you got into my timeline, and I had responded to something funny you said. And you followed me. And wanted to follow back right away. But my girlfriend at the time, I knew, and this was a Saturday, I knew that if I did this, it would lead to problems, right? So this was like a Saturday afternoon. I'm telling you, it's a true story. I remember it like it was yesterday. So I wait, right? And this and that. And of course, I troll your account, look at it, great, okay. Very funny, very pretty, very cool girl. All those things, go through it. She's going to a club that night, and of course I'm not. So I'm waiting. And I'm saying, I'm going to follow back when this girl, goes to the club. So fast forward to 8, 9, 10 o'clock that night. I want to say around 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever. I follow back. Within 10 minutes, it's a true story, I get a text message. Who's that girl you just followed on Twitter? I don't know.
You're not with this girl still, right?
No, hell no. Obviously, I mean, just telling you this much, you could tell this thing didn't work out.
Horrible time.
Yeah, no. As you could tell, things didn't work out. So yeah, I had to make up some kind of answer about, that's Leslie. She's a Nebraska fan or something.
Oh yeah.
But truth be told,
I just gotta follow a Nebraska fan.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I'm way into I'm way into Cornhuskers football. But yeah, that's how it went down. Followed back. It's just amazing to me. Yeah, right. And here we are. Exactly. Okay, Leslie. People can figure out real quick what you're all about, I think. Well, I mean, I don't want to put it that way, but on your Twitter account, big Nebraska fan, big Dodger fan. You like going to Dodger games. You like, one thing I
wouldn't say that right now. I would not say that I like going to Dodger games right now. It's a little too fresh.
Okay, well, by April you'll like going.
I've been to Dodger games.
You were actually there for the Swan Song, huh? The end game against the Nats. Wow, harsh.
I was there by myself. I was sick. It was amazing. Great time. Glad I spent all that money on going. Right.
Which feeds into the going to games as an outdated concept thing that we'll get into later. Okay, first of all, Leslie, this past week in college football, only one wild thing happened that I can tell. Wisconsin gets upset. What do you expect when Paul Chryst is the coach? Last year, he gets beat as a 20-something point favorite against BYU on his home field. This year, 30-something point favorite at Illinois. Wisconsin takes their first loss. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know.
Love to see it.
Oh, you like that, right? Okay. Because you're a Nebraska fan. That's good.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if you love college football, you just are rooting for the chaos, basically, no matter what, unless it's against your team. You don't want that. But, you're that's the exciting thing about college football. You never know what's going to happen. And that was fun. That was a fun game. It also gives me hope that Nebraska could possibly, I don't know about win against Wisconsin in a few weeks, but could possibly score. So, pretty exciting news for me.
Well, it just depends what Paul Chryst you get as far as as far as Wisconsin is concerned. The bad conservative one, and the one that makes bad decisions in close games. You definitely got a shot. It helps to be the underdog against this guy. Okay, so that was probably the biggest development of the weekend. Plus, this little notion that I have going now that Notre Dame can somehow backdoor its way into the playoff. They're a one-loss team. And like you said, the chaos, that's what we live for. I think it's coming. I don't know where the hell it's really been so far this season other than the Georgia and Wisconsin loss. Maybe it's picking up. If there is more chaos, Notre Dame gets back into the playoff.
Not sure if you saw the Boise State game on Saturday night. BYU beat them. Pretty exciting, except for I had Boise State money line, so not great. But they also got upset. So there were a couple this weekend.
So you're betting now? Is that what you're telling me?
Occasionally.
All right.
I try not to make a habit of it. I'm not good.
All right. Well, we can help you with that. Look, having said that, though, I had Boise on the in-game line. I had watched the early part of the game. I thought, wow, this Chase Cord guy's legit. I thought Mitt Romney's son, Baylor Romney, was no good. Those are my early impressions in the first quarter. And I had Boise on the in-game line, and needless to say, that went belly up. And no, I know that is not really Mitt Romney's kid. Okay, you got nothing to say to that. Thank you, Leslie. NFL. I don't know how much of an NFL fan you are yesterday. The NFL's been funky, but yesterday's all favorites, it seemed like. However, I have one take. It's starting to occur to me that these teams are quitting when they get down in games. And I guess it's part of the NFL culture or something, because the Eagles, they got down to the Cowboys, and the next thing you know, Nelson Aguilar and video that's going around the internet today didn't lay out for a deep ball. Why would he? You got Wentz fumbling a snap. You saw the Falcons basically quit against the Rams. I think we're starting to see these NFL teams not show any heart when they realize it's kind of hopeless. That's my opinion.
I'm a Rams fan, so yesterday was enjoyable for me after the last 3 weeks.
Did you bet the Rams?
I took the 49ers yesterday in a survivor pool that I'm in. I originally was going to go with the Bills. Got a little bit nervous that the Dolphins might pull one win out. I feel like they're going to at some point, and I just don't know where it's going to be yet. And I got nervous yesterday, so I took the 49ers, which was a nerve-wracking game to take. I mean, they ended up winning, but it was. I should start checking the weather before I make my picks, I feel like.
Talked to somebody else this morning that had the Niners on a parlay to the Rams, and he was saying the same thing. Had no idea about the weather, and he's like, I need to start checking that.
I turned it on and was not expecting that. But.
Yeah, that field was. It was like. Basically they're playing in soup. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Well, at least you're still going in your survivor pool. Hopefully there's not many people left at this point. I mean, there's been some upsets.
About 50 left or so.
Let me ask you this. You still have the Patriots available to you? Are you holding on to that?
No.
Oh, you used it early.
I used them, yeah.
Do you use all the good teams up early and just hope that everyone goes out?
No.
Is there any...
No, I've mostly been taking the Dolphins' opponents, but occasionally take someone else. So
maybe that's why there's 50 people left.
Yeah. I think
all right, we're rooting for you, Leslie.
Quite a few people are using, so...
Okay, we're definitely rooting for you. So that's everybody's weekend recap. Now, looking forward to this week, the biggest game in the country, not college, not pro. It's going down in high school. Mater Dei against St. John Bosco. A lot of people think the number 1 and 2 teams in the country. A lot of people think, for certain at least, the number 1 and 2 teams in Southern California. The 2 teams that will probably meet again even after this game in the D1 championship. That's just the way it goes. But nonetheless, that's the big game this week. Undefeated against undefeated. And that's going down Friday night. This game is supposedly already a sellout. 3,000 to 5,000 fans. Things sold out really quickly. Pretty nuts. Leslie, can we expect you to be in attendance for this one?
I think I'm going to have to miss this one. Maybe next year.
Okay, well, that's good, because you're now part of the boycott Mater Dei Bosco thing that I've started here in response to a column that was very, very good, written by the dean of Los Angeles or Southern California prep sports writers, Eric Sonheimer of the LA Times. Wrote a great column that kind of spelled out how and why Bosco and Mater Dei have gotten ahead of the pack, so far ahead of the pack that if you read it, oh my God, I don't know how anybody could support what's going on here. It's just ridiculous. So that's why I'm saying boycott Mater Dei Bosco. I guess you and I are both doing that, even though there is a chance you could watch it on TV.
I'm part of the movement, huh?
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate your support. I don't think you were going.
Problem.
I don't think you were going regardless, but whatever. Let's get into the main topic today, Leslie. Sports couples, fan couples, to be specific. Okay, you see this on social media. You can't miss it. And when I say fan couple, I'm talking about the people that you see out in public wearing like the same team jersey, same team hat. They're like dressed as they're part of the team, and they are a fan couple, be it Dodgers, Angels, Raiders, Lakers, you name it. I just don't get it. It's kind of grossing me out. It seems to be getting worse. Maybe that's because of social media. You have more exposure to it. You've seen them about, have you not, Leslie? You've seen these types?
Unfortunately.
I don't understand. Yeah, unfortunately is right. I don't understand the thinking that goes into this. Is it we met and I found out, well, you were a Dodger fan, and so now, I'm all about it, and I'm going to go out and get me a jersey. Is that how it starts? I'm into what you're into because we're together now? I mean, what the hell's going on here?
I hope it's not one person deciding that they're a fan because the other person is. That makes me sick. I do not like that. You should have your own team. Decide on your own. If you don't like a team, don't have a team. But don't get into it because someone else is into it. I don't like that at all. But even if they're both into it, I don't know. It's just, I guess it's similar interests, but you're not going to see me probably going to any games with anyone. I usually go by myself.
Right, but if you did go with dude, and it was like, you guys are getting ready, and he's like, honey, I think I'm going to wear my Bellinger jersey tonight, and you ought to wear the Ryu jersey because he's starting. I don't know. That's just a situation I would never want to be in. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I'm not going to I'm not going to find myself in that situation.
I'm sure these people said the same thing.
I don't know about that.
But you brought up an interesting point, and this is my question about it. I need to know, okay, I'm coming from the guy's perspective, okay? Let's say I'm like, the super fan, and as everyone knows, I'm not, okay? And I start dating this girl, and all of a sudden, she's like jumping on my team's bandwagon with me because we're dating now, and like I said, she's all about it. I gotta know your history. I gotta know, did you even know who this team was before we started dating? Did you go to games before? There's just gotta be something there, because if you're doing this all for the sake of our relationship or of us having something, then it's not organic. But I happen to think that that's exactly what's going on here. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's more women that, kind of conform to what their guy is into. And it may not even be a sports thing. It may not even be a fan couple thing. It might be whatever else he's into. It's like they conform to what he's into. It's not organic. It's forced. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, men do that too.
Really?
If it's not just sports, then if we're talking anything, people, yeah. Yeah, people just like something because someone else likes it, but we're talking about sports here.
Yeah, okay, we're talking about sports here, but that's like why I'm saying, like, okay, so like if I'm sitting there and I, find your or whoever, some girl's social media profile, and I'm like, oh, wow, like, well, not only is she pretty, she's an Ohio State fan too. Wow, this is perfect. Like, I'm set, This is great. We have similar interests. But it doesn't work the opposite way. I don't see women saying, oh, wow, he's on Pinterest. Thank God.
What a weird example.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you're into, but I mean, you see, like, it seems to be like, I don't know, like women, like I said, conform to the guy. Like they get into, it doesn't seem to cut both ways. Maybe it should. But it just doesn't seem to cut both ways. I don't know. My problem is at the end of the day is I find it hard to believe that someone can just turn it on and off, as far as being a fan and all of a sudden, just jumping right into that fan culture and being, just totally caught up in this team. If you weren't before, then why start now? And it's just forced. That's just how I see it.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I don't like people who just start liking a team because someone else does. It's honestly so annoying. And I know plenty of people like that. And I was going to say, not to talk to them about sports because I know where their opinions are coming from, and it's not from them. So
I was going to say, do you have any friends where, this happened? It's like, Jenny, how come you're all of a sudden an Angels fan?
I wouldn't be friends with someone who's an Angels fan.
But they weren't. That's the point. They weren't until they met Dude.
Yeah.
You remember that guy I just met like 2 months ago at the bar? Like, we're dating now, and all of a sudden I'm wearing Angels gear. Okay. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the outset is like, I guess I'm coming from someone who's just like so sick with it. Like I tell girls at the outset, like when I start dating, which is few and far between now, but whatever. Like I'm going from 9 a.m. Purdue game all the way to 9 p.m. Hawaii game. And I'm not kidding. It's going to be like this every weekend. And, don't make me choose between you and betting college football because you're going to lose every time.
Some people, can't handle that. Yeah. That means they're out.
But, okay, that's fine. So you say, hey, I'm out. That's fine. I'd rather have the girl do that than say, no. That's good. I can handle that. And then 6 weeks later, she's like, wait a second. Is this how it's going to be every week? Which has happened to me multiple times. I'm like, now you got to go.
No. I mean, I am on the same page with you. I've had people, I spend my Saturday watching college football. And if people don't like it, they're out. Like, they can't handle it, they're gone. Like, that's what I do on my Saturdays, too. So, if you want to make plans on a Saturday in the fall, you're going to have to make them with someone else.
Dream girl, I tell you, everybody. That is the voice of Leslie Micek. You can follow her on Twitter at Les Micek. That is at LESMICEK. And you can see what I'm talking about. That's why she's so lovable, because she's down with the college football from morning till night. Leslie, where do you watch your games? Give me this info here. I've always kind of wondered this about you. Are we at like hip bars in Manhattan Beach? You rubbing elbows with Russillo? Or are we like hunkered down in our, I'll say condo, getting Postmates?
I prefer not to go anywhere and watch. I like to watch at home. I don't like to go to the Nebraska bar. I like to be sad by myself at home. I don't need to be sad with strangers. I just prefer to watch at home. And you can, change the channel, keep up on the games that you want to watch. That I like the control of the remote, like that's important to me. So I prefer to watch at home and be by myself. No one talking, no one bothering me,
Dream girl. Again, I tell you, wow, this is really impressive stuff. Leslie, so help me understand this. A couple years ago, even on Twitter, I think it was during a Nebraska-Iowa game, I tweeted something to you, and oh my God, the response was something nasty. It might have even been like an F off. It was downright brutal. This isn't an act. This isn't a joke. I've seen you do this with lots of people who try to get at you during games. It must be pretty intense.
Don't ever talk to me about Iowa, or you're going to get that kind of a response, basically. If people are going to come at me, I'm just going to shut them down, so. Yeah,
that was me once.
Yeah.
Jeez, thanks.
I haven't noticed that you've done it again, so it usually stops people.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't want the Twitter embarrassment. One more thought about the sports couples, the fan couples things, while we're talking about what kind of fans and whatnot that we are. I didn't notice this phenomena in the 70s or the 80s. I was born in the 70s, so that'll give you an idea. But so coming up in the 80s, I didn't notice this. I didn't really notice this in the 90s, really, even, that husband and wife, both wearing the same gear to the game. I don't know when the hell this started. This has to be a social media thing. It just has to be. Because I don't remember it really before the whole pop of social media.
Well, social media just shows it to you more, probably. I'm sure it was still there.
No.
So I don't know that you can blame social media for this. You're just seeing it more.
Fucking blame social media for everything. Listen.
Okay, Pat Fitzgerald.
The guy's the man. PF for president. No, listen, I'm serious. I when I watch old games, I'm not kidding you. I look at the crowd shots because I always like to get a snapshot, a little peek into how things were at the time. Crowd shots of like old games from like the 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s. I really didn't even see a lot of people wearing fan gear, period. I mean, people used to just go like, dressed, it seemed indifferent. Now, if you walk into a game, you're not, you're not decked out in the team's colors or following the theme of that night. You're the asshole. Ask your parents, Leslie.
Ask my parents.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's what you're looking at in old game tape. You're looking at the crowd.
Yeah. If they show crowd shots, yeah, I'm looking at the crowd. I will go back, like if I'm watching boxing or old games, like on YouTube or whatever, or something that I have DVR'd. I will go back and watch many times, sometimes just to see what the crowd did during a big play or during like a knockdown in a fight, just to see what the crowd response was. I love that. I guess that makes me a people watcher, which doesn't make sense because I don't like going to games.
Oh, man. Is that the segue into this next subject?
No, because I got one more thing to say here about this. Selfies. Which bleed into the whole sports fan couple thing. I think that's going to be my thing. Okay. They're doing it for the gram. That's what it is. These people are dressing up this way. They're doing it for the gram. And that leads to like, the whole thing about selfies. My opinion, while I was thinking about this earlier today, the three places I see people taking the most selfies. Number one, the sitting in my car driving selfie. Number two, standing in front of my mirror selfie. Okay, so I can see like you holding your phone up, taking it. And number three, the pillow selfie, which you and I are both guilty of. The pillow selfie.
Yeah.
Are you guilty of the other two? The mirror one, the driving one? I'm driving. I look in the rearview mirror.
Sometimes. The driving, no.
I think it's more dudes that do the
dangerous.
Well, yeah, it's a stoplight thing, and I think it's more dudes. I really do think it's more dudes, especially Gumps. Like they're all like wearing like Oakleys. And it's almost like you could see what happened 10 seconds before it came to a stoplight, looked in the rearview mirror, damn, I look good, grab phone, take selfie.
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen that one.
Oh, okay. I'll flood you then with some examples. That's no problem. That is no
Please
problem
don't.
at all. I'll do it during the Iowa game.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, this whole thing, it grosses me out. I don't understand it. I wouldn't want it. I tell you what, like, I really wonder if, like, post-breakup, like, the girl or the guy all of a sudden, like, ditches the team, then you know it wasn't for real. And then, like, if you do bring them into that part of your life, and the relationship goes bad, what do you do after the breakup? Or like if we're dating for 10 years and we're going to Dodger games, wearing his and her jerseys and all that crap and wearing our caps and all that stuff and taking pictures, then we break up. What do I do like that next season? Do I go and sit there and say, I remember Leslie used to sit right there. There's certain things I don't think you can bring people into, certain aspects of your life, or you risk ruining them if things go bad for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I
bet you didn't think about that, Leslie.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would miss someone. At a game? No.
Oh, my God. It wouldn't make you think of it. You know, certain things that make you think of, oh, you know, me and Tom once stood out here and looked at the sunset. Certain things get you caught in your feelings, memories and stuff like that. You're telling me you're not feeling any of that.
No.
Cold.
Yeah.
You're harsh, Leslie. Jeez, so much for
never
asking.
get started going to games with people. Always go by yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say, so much for asking you to prom.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, all right. I won't give you the pleasure of saying no to me. Okay, let's get to the going to games as an outdated concept segment. Feel free to rebut.
This is your favorite topic of all time.
Yeah. Before I get into this, do you have any thoughts on that? As you can see, it leads to a lot of arguments. You know, and you are someone that does go to games, but then you're also someone that likes to keep it at home on Saturdays and be alone.
I see the appeal of staying home, yes, but I also enjoy going to the game, the environment, drinking a beer, being outside. I like all of that. So I totally disagree with you.
Okay. On that note, going to games is an outdated concept. This is something new we'll be unveiling here on the Aram on Everything podcast. You guys will get the gist of how this works. I will just start by looking back on a few games from the past weekend that prove going to games is an outdated concept. Let's start Thursday night, Broncos-Chiefs, big AFC West showdown. Patrick Mahomes coming to town. Broncos, arguably their biggest home game of the year. No doubt people shelled out sick money for that game. Final score, KC 30, Broncos 6. You were there to see Pat Mahomes, though, right? Nope, sorry. He gets hurt. He's out for most of the game. You still lose the game. Broncos score 6 points in the first quarter. They don't score the rest of the game. You paid sick money to see that. Going to games is an outdated concept. That same night, Thursday, UCLA goes to the Farm. They play at Stanford. If you follow Ben Bolch on Twitter, I think he's the LA Times Bruins reporter. He tweets out a picture a little bit before the game. There wasn't really anyone even there for me to say, hey, going to games is an outdated concept. The place looked like 90% empty. Nonetheless, for those of you that paid to go, you get your Stanford team losing 34-16 to UCLA. 198 yards of total offense. Of your 16 points, 7 of them come on a blocked punt that's recovered for a fumble. You pay for that shit? Going to games is an outdated concept. Sunday, the game Leslie mentioned. 49ers at Redskins, played in a monsoon. You're a Redskins fan. You stand out in the rain in your parka. You get soaked. The players get soaked. The game sucks. In the NFL of 2019, you see a game where only 9 points are scored. It's 9-0. Your team loses. You paid for that. Going to games is an outdated concept. And finally, this one's circulating today on social media, on Twitter. I think I even retweeted it. An Eagles fan gets his ass kicked by a Cowboys fan up in the stands. A couple of hillbillies fighting is what it looked like to me. Even a lady getting involved. So you pay to see your Eagles play in Dallas. I hope you didn't travel to the game. Get their ass kicked in the game. Give half an effort, if that. Then you get in a fight and get your ass kicked, and now it's circulating on social media. Going to games is an outdated concept. Leslie, what's your take on that?
Oh my God. You couldn't be more wrong. All of these examples, okay, you go and you see your team lose. That's just part of being a fan, unfortunately. Like, I've seen plenty of Nebraska losses. I saw the Dodgers lose in Game 5 last week, whatever. But it's only going to keep me coming back to see them win.
You could have done all that at home for free.
Do you know? Do you know how exciting it's going to be when Nebraska starts to turn this around and I'm still going to those games? Because I was at all the bad ones. It's going to be 10 times more exciting to be at the good ones.
So it's an investment?
Absolutely, sports are an investment in every single way. Every Saturday we spend on the couch watching all of those games is an investment. We are invested.
But homegirl, I'm invested because I'm betting.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you including that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yeah, on that we agree. But you couldn't pay me to go to a UCLA game at the Rose Bowl, even if nothing else was going on. You couldn't do it. Or a USC game, for that matter. I mean, these are all things that we can do, from our couch, with our own toilet, with our own regular priced beer, in my case, soda. To me, it's a no-brainer. I was hoping that little segment would sway someone like you, but I don't know. Clearly, it didn't.
Hell no. I'll still be at the games.
All right. Well, we'll get to you sooner or later. Like I said, this is the tide, and you can't stop the tide. And I'm not talking about Alabama. I mean, you see it. You see all the declining attendance and all that stuff. Numbers leagues are dealing with. The NCAA is dealing with. It's coming, whether you agree with Aram or not.
No, I'll still be there.
All right, Leslie. That kind of stubbornness. That's why we love you. Thank you for joining me today. We need to have you back on as often as possible, especially as things pick up here, especially for more random takes by me, where you could put me in my place or at least try. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And,
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We will talk soon. Leslie Micek. You can follow her on Twitter at Les Micek, LESMICK, at LESMICK. She's a doozy. I tell you what, though, just don't engage her during like a Nebraska game where they're losing, or you're going to get put on blast. It's happened to me before. It'll happen to you. Nothing you can do about that. Anyways. Later this week, we are expecting to have Scott Wolf on to talk about USC, maybe even get some Bosco Mater Dei stuff from him, talk about my boycott of Bosco Mater Dei. I hope this thing happens. And I might try and get Fred J. Robledo or Tarek Fatal on to talk more about the boycott Mater Dei Bosco situation. There are plenty of other great games going on right in your own neighborhood. You don't need to support that crap. But until then, thank you for listening, and we will be back with you soon. Please go to the YouTube page where you probably will watch this video to begin with, or watch this or listen to this podcast. Subscribe and like. I appreciate it, and we'll be back with you soon. Thank you.